All right, so this week we continue working with area model for multiplication. So we're going to be doing 2-digit by 2-digit. Last week we started doing 2 and 3-digit, multiplying it by a 1-digit number. So we've expanded on that this week. And remember, this is a strategy that you can use. This is probably going to be one of your best strategies that you can use to be able to do multiplication. Just because you can break it out and see it just a little bit easier, and kind of helps to understand. It helps me to be able to understand how I'm doing each step. When I can see it being done in each box. And so when you're doing 2-digit by 2-digit, a couple things that we've got to remember and review is how you know how many boxes to draw. And you know how many boxes that you need to draw for 2-digit by 2-digit, because on 2-digit by 2-digit, you're going to need 4. Because when you expand these out, remember, you're going to have a ones and a tens place for this number, and then you're going to have a ones and a tens place for this number. So you're going to need 4 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one. And so remember, we're going to start off, we got to do our expanded form. And expanded form, remember, you're going to break each number into its different places, into its place value. And so let's start with 76 first. We're going to break it into place value. Let's do expanded form. So 76, I know that there are 6 ones, 7 tens. 7 tens is the same thing as saying 70. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. There's 7 of them. Well, I know it's 70 plus 6. Your second number is going to go to the left over here. So when you do 34, let's focus in on 34. I know that there are 4 ones in the ones place in 34. And I know there are 3 tens, 10, 20, 30. So 3 tens is the same thing as saying 30. So you just did your expanded form. So we've got our 4 boxes. We've done our expanded form. Now we start doing multiplying. Remember, you're going to multiply the top number by the number on the left each time. Okay? So 70 times 30. How many zeros do you see in 70 and 30? That's right. There's 2. Go ahead and put your 2 zeros. And then take care of your fact at the front. 7 times 3 is what? What's 7 times 3? Good. It's 21. Write 21 in front of your zeros. You now have a number of 2,100. Okay? 6 times 30, or 30 times 6. How many zeros are there in 30 and 6? Well, there's 1 0 here, so I'm going to put my 0 over here. And what's 6 times 3? 6 times 3 is 18. Good. And this is where you need to make sure you know your basic multiplication facts in order to be able to help you with expanding on the 2-digit times 2-digit. So 30 times 6 is 180. Let's go to this box. The top of this box is 70. Left is 4. So what's 70 times 4? How many zeros do you see in 70 and 4? There's 1, so I'm going to put 1 0. 7 times 4 is what? What's your basic fact of 7 times 4? Good, it's 28. So I'm going to write my number there. Okay, so I get 280. Now, this next one, 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is what? It's just a basic fact. There's no zeros to work with on this one. 6 times 4 is 24. Now I'm done with that number. And so what is my next step that I do? I've done my drawing of my boxes. I've done my expanded form. I've done my multiplying now. Your last step is to add. And so you're going to come over here and we're going to add our numbers up. And remember, when you do this, you want to make sure that you keep your numbers stacked up on top of each other. So I'm going to do my greatest number, which has 4 digits, 2,100. Then down under it, I am going to add 180 to it. And then down under it, I'm going to add 280. Whoops, I need to scoot over one more. 280. And then I'm going to add my 24. And so we add those up. Like I said, keep your ones all in the same place. Keep your tens stacked up, your hundreds, and your thousands. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18. Well, I can't just write 18 here, so you have to regroup. So you're going to put your 8, carry your 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. and then you just bring down your 2 because there's nothing to add to it. You get an answer of 2,584. So your product is 2,584. Okay, let's do another one again. Oh, and I don't know if I said this at the front of the video, but I hope you are working these out on paper or whiteboard or something so that you can be practicing these. If you didn't do this one, you can always go back, pause the video and go back and do it. But if you haven't got paper in front of you, pause the video and go ahead and get you some paper and a pencil, and let's work the next couple problems together. All right, so let's do 65 times 82. Okay, and let's work this one together. And so on this one, I know that I need 4 boxes because I've got a 1s and a 10, a 1 and a 10. So I've got my 4 boxes that I need for this when I do my expanded form. And so when I do expanded form, let's do our 65 first. What is 65 expanded form? Good. Expanded form would be 60 plus 5. 6 10s plus those 5 1s. 60 plus 5. And what is the expanded form of 82? Good. 82 is the same as saying 80 plus 2. Multiplying. Let's do 60 times 80. Top number by the left. How many zeros do you see in 60 and 80? Yeah, there's 2. So let's go ahead and put our 2 zeros. And then what is 6 times 8? 48. And then you simply write 48 in front of it. So you get 4,800. Okay? All right. Let's move to our number over here, our 5 and our 80. So what's 80 times 5? How many zeros do you see in 80 times 5? There's 1 0. What's 8 times 5? Good. 8 times 5 is 40. So I write 40 in front of my 0. So I got an answer, a partial product of 400. The reason, remember, why these are called partial products is because you're getting part of the product as you go. You're getting little parts of it a little at a time. All right, let's go down here. So the top number is 60. This one is 2. What's 60 times 2? How many zeros do you have? Good, there's 1. So I put my 1 0. What is 6 times 2? 6 times 2 is 12. So I simply write 12 in front of my 0. So 60 times 2 is 120. And this is why it's so important to know your basic facts so you don't miss the bigger problems. One little simple miss of a simple fact makes you miss the whole problem. And then this box over here, our last box does not have zeros because it's just our ones place, unless the number happened to be a 0, if the factor happened to be a 0. But 5 times 2 is, good, 10. And that answer did have a 0, so we write 10. And then we take and let's add them up. So come over here on your paper and let's stack and add. Remember to keep them all in their correct places. So I'm going to start with my biggest number, 4,800. And then I'm going to come down here and on my 3-digit numbers, I'm going to put plus 400. And then I'm going to do my 120. And then I'm going to do my smallest 2-digit, my 10. Don't forget, add your plus sign. It lets me know too that you know what to do there. It lets you know too what you're supposed to do. So we're going to add these up. Okay, I'm going to actually give you a second. You can pause the video to do your adding, and then we'll come back and check your answer. All right, so let's check and see what you got. Well, you have nothing but zeros in your ones place, so all that would equal 0. You have 2 plus 1 in your tens place, so 2 plus 1 is 3. It's 3 tens. Your hundreds, 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 more is 13. I can't put a 13 down here, so I have to write my 3, carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. So you should have gotten an answer, a product of 5,330. Okay. All right. We've got one more to do. This time, I want you to go ahead and set your boxes up on your own. And I want you to pause the video and completely take this one through all the steps. Go ahead, set your boxes up, do your expanded form, do your multiplying, do your adding, and then circle your answer. And then when you were finished, unpause the video and let's check your work to see if you did it correct. Okay, so pause the video and work on this problem. All right, so let's check to see how you did. All right, 29 times 71. You should have, when you did your expanded form, you should have had your 20 plus 9 times your 70 plus 1. Check to make sure you got that. Everybody got their expanded form good? All right, I hope so. So now let's do our multiplying. Well, I know 70 times 20, that's got 2 zeros. So, and that's one thing too, make sure however many zeros you see, that's how many you put over here in your part of your answer, okay? Because if you leave off one of the zeros, that's gonna mess your product up at the end. 7 times 2 is 14, so I put it in the front, so I know 1,400 should have been in that box. 9 times 70 or 70 times 9, there's 1 0, and I know that 7 times 9 is 63, so that was 630. 20 times 1, well, there's 1 0. 2 times 1 is 2. I know 20 times 1, that's the ones fact. I know that's 20. And I know 9 times 1, any number times 1 is going to be itself. So 9 times 1 is 9. Okay? All right. When we add these up, we should have 1,400. Scoot this over a bit. And I'm going to add to it 630. And I'm going to add to it 20. And I'm going to add to it 9. And then I'm going to make sure I put my plus sign, and I'm going to add these up. So in my ones is 9. My tens, 3 plus 2, you should have had 5. Hopefully everybody's getting there. We're almost there. Hope you've got the right answer so far. 6 plus 4 is 10. Well, I can't write the 2-digit number here, so I have to put my 0. Here my 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. You should have gotten a product of 2,059 if you did that correct. If you didn't, if you take a minute and go back and look at my screen and see what you did wrong so you don't keep making that same mistake. Okay, so this week you're going to continue working on doing area model 2-digit by 2-digit. So you've got several activities to do with that. You can always refer back to this video if you need help on any of the problems or any of the advice on how to do these problems. So continue doing your area model. Now, some of the boxes will be drawn for you. Some of them you will need to draw yourself. So be careful of how many boxes you draw. Be careful of counting your zeros and making sure you know your basic facts.